How you doing? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the people who understand this wonderful saying, and howdy do to all those who don't. This is a response to why I left Islam. This is Men of Understanding once again. I can't understand how people can leave Islam when they don't understand Tawheed. And Tawheed is something that is the foundation of a Muslim, and anyone who understands the truth of the Quran, the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and every Muslim says in their prayers, Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in, Thee alone we worship and Thee alone we ask for help. I can't understand how people can go astray, because it's impossible. Why? Because God Almighty, He guides the hearts. He guides the hearts. Now, I ask a question to many people when I give dawah to people, call people to Islam. I ask them one very important question. I ask them, can you see God? And they say no, right? And then when we ask a Christian, can you see God? They make a shape of Jesus looking like God. Now, same with the idol worshippers who worship idols and stones. They say that God is in everything. God is the tree, God is the stone, God is the sky, the clouds, you name it, what else, right? And also so forth. Other people have different concepts of who God is. But in Islam, we have the best concept in a lovely short surah, in Surah Ikhlas, which reads, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad, wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Which means, say, God is one, the absolute. He doesn't give birth and He hasn't been born. And whatever you think He looks like, nothing can be compared to Him. Now, what I'm going to do before I start trying to understand these people who say, why I left Islam, right? Let's go through some information to see how one cannot leave Islam. It's impossible, because anyone has knowledge of the Creator. Why would you want to go backwards when you can keep going forwards? Right, let's have a look. And the Creator that I'm talking about is the one God. If I say A-L, the, L-A-H, God, the God, put it together, the God, translate it into Arabic, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, praise be to God. Right, so let's start by saying this. Allah is the personal name of the Creator, the one true God, who exists by Himself and whose most beautiful names describe His divine attributes. In the context of the Quran, in Surah 59, verse 22 to 24, sums up the greater attributes of Allah, God Almighty, which gives mankind the fundamental basis on which they can form a concept of Allah, God Almighty. It states, He is Allah, beside whom none has the right to be worshipped but He, the all-knower of the unseen and the seen. He is the most gracious, the most merciful. He is Allah, beside whom none has the right to be worshipped but He, the King, the Holy, the source of peace, the guardian of faith. That's a really good attribute, isn't it? The guardian of faith. So how can there be an ex-Muslim? Amazing. The preserver and safety, the Almighty, the compeller, the supreme. Glory be to Allah. High is He above all that they associate as partners with Him. He is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty, the Creator, the inventor of all things, the bestower of all forms. To Him belongs the most beautiful names, and all that is in the heavens and the earth glorify Him, and He is the Almighty, the All-Wise. You heard some wonderful verses from the Quran. Allah is the first, before whom there is none, the last, whom there is none, the Most High, whom there is none, the Eternal, near, whom there is none, the knower of all things. In the context of the Quran, it states in Surah 57, verse 3, He is Allah the first, nothing is before Him, the last, nothing is after Him, the Most High, nothing is above Him, and the most near. Nothing is nearer than him, and he has full knowledge of all things. Now, anytime we hear people speak about the Creator, they always make up in their mind that one, they know better than the Creator; two, that the Creator doesn't know his creation; three, that they think they could do a better job than the Creator; and four, because all of these concepts they have an argument with, they think there's no God. Or even better still, even if they come into Islam, they reject it because of some calamity that may befit them or befall them. They cannot handle it. So let's go back in and let's understand who this wonderful Creator is. Because once you understand who this Creator is, once you have knowledge of this Creator, you know who you submit and surrender your will to. Either two gods, your desires, or the Creator of the universe. So let's have a look again. Allah is the one in the sense that He is unique, and there is nothing like him anywhere which he could be compared to. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God Almighty, is not a father. He does not have children. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is eternal and never dies. The guard and the protector to whom everything calls when they are in despair and need help. Allah himself, in the form of a short surah in the Quran, reflecting the essence of unity, what I said before, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahus samad, lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Which means, say, O Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he is Allah the one God. Allah, the self-sustaining master whom all creation needs. Self-sustaining, meaning he doesn't need anyone to sustain him, no, but everything in his creation needs to be sustained. Man cannot sustain himself. After all, he can't even stop himself getting a cold, or going to sleep, or going to the toilet, and when his body smells, he needs to wash himself. Allahu Akbar. But the Creator is self-sustaining. He is the true King of the universe. Allahu Akbar. So Allah is the self-sustaining master whom all creation needs. Yes, all creation needs. You know how much we need our Creator? You know how much? 1, 2, 3. That's how much you need your Creator. He begets not, nor was he begotten. Meaning, he wasn't born from anyone, because to be born is an animal act, and it takes place from a female, a male and a female. Nor was he begotten, meaning he doesn't give birth, because that's another animal, because nothing looks like unto him. And everything else is creation, where he is Creator of creation. And there is none co-equal or comparable unto him, meaning there is no God like God himself. No, because Allah tells us in the Quran, if there was more than one God, every God would want to take away what he has placed. One God will say, I want it to be sunny today. One God will say, I want it to rain today. One God will say, I want there to be a tsunami today. One God will say, I want it to be night. One God will say, I want it to be day at the same time. But ladies and gentlemen, when you go outside in the pitch black darkness and you sit on that bench in the park, you can listen to harmony, pure universal harmony. One sustainer sustaining this wonderful creation. Allah is the heavenly King, whom all, once again, Allah is the heavenly King whom mankind must trust for protection against internal and external factors. In the context of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states in Surah 114, 1-3, notes, say, I seek refuge with the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, the God of mankind. Allah is the La, the one and only God of the entire universe. La ilaha illallah, none has the right to be worshipped but He. In this regard, all forms of worship,